Alright guys, today we're talking about congruence, and remember congruence are just when your angles or your sides are the same, and we use the equal sign with the wave above it to show that they're congruent or they're equal. Another word that we need to get down as a definition is correspondence. And correspondence is just a way of matching up two sets of objects. So we're going to look at different polygons and different angles and see if they have anything that corresponds to one another. Okay, we're going to start off by writing a congruence statement for the given triangles here. And remember, these tick marks show congruence. So side MK, you can say that line segment MK is congruent to line segment SR. Now because I started here where it says 55, that means again I have to start here because those angles match. Okay? So we could also write that angle M corresponds to angle S. So let's just find other ones that deal with the angles. So we can also say that angle K corresponds to angle R. And we could also say that angle R corresponds to angle K. The order here doesn't matter. And then finally, angle L corresponds to angle Q. So since they are all congruent, we can make an overall general statement about the polygon. We can say triangle KLM corresponds to triangle. Now we have to match up. K goes with R, so we have to start with triangle R. L goes with Q, so Q has to go in the middle. And then finally M corresponds to S, so we say triangle RQS. Okay, let's see if you can try this polygon on your own. First, see if you can identify what type of polygon this is. You should have said pentagon, so we're working with a pentagon here. See if you can match up all of the angles based on correspondence, and then come back and see if your answers correspond with my answers. So what we could have said, I'm going to start at A, is that angle A corresponds to angle H. And then angle B corresponds to angle I. Angle C corresponds to angle J. Angle D corresponds to angle D. And finally, angle E corresponds to angle F. Now again, you can also make congruent statements based off of line segments, okay? But here we don't have any of those little tick marks, so we're just going to base it off of the angles. So we can say that pentagon A, B, C, D, E is congruent to pentagon H, I, J, F, G. Now remember, we have to go in order, and you also need to write pentagon, whatever polygon the name is, in front of it. Okay, so the last thing that we want to do is find out different values. So I'm going to tell you that quadrilateral PQSR corresponds to quadrilateral WTUV. So let's first solve for x. So we're going to find x. So if we look here, x is right between P and R. So if I look over here, if I'm looking for P and R, that means I have to look over here at W and V. So I can write a statement of x plus 5 equals 12. Now I'm just going to use inverse to solve. So I'm going to subtract 5 or add a negative 5, and x equals 7. Alright, let's try to find y. So if we look, y is right here between T and W, or W and T. So I have to find the correspondence, so that would be between P and Q, which is right here. So I could say that my statement is 4y equals 24. Now let's just use inverse, divide by 4, so y equals 6. Let's find z. So if we look here, this corresponds with angle V, and V is in the last spot, so that corresponds with R. So we can say that 6z equals 132. So let's divide both sides by 6, and z equals 22 degrees. You can now make, or go back and do your exit slip.